What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Optimize You. Today, I'm going to talk all about goals. So, I look back on my journey of the last 2 years of recording this podcast, everything I've learned, and I also talk about when it's time to shift goals, how to shift goals, and really just reevaluating yourself every so often to make sure you're going in the right direction. Hope you enjoy this one. On to the podcast. All right, y'all. So today, what popped into my head right before I sat down to record, and right now I'm recording, and it's the day after Thanksgiving. And so hopefully everybody had an amazing Thanksgiving last week. I would assume this is probably going to be coming out the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had an amazing Thanksgiving. One thing I like to chat about here, I use this with my clients as well and have for a while, is understanding that, and we talked about this on our Thanksgiving episode. It's one day, right? I know, like, I'm sure some of you out there had you had a plan for Thanksgiving and it went perfect. Hopefully your plan was to enjoy it, enjoy some drinks, enjoy food, enjoy desserts that you love, and to just focus on Friday or today when I'm recording, getting back on it, right? But for those of you who maybe like had a plan and you went crazy, you felt terrible afterwards, like you just we're in like that food coma that we've all been in at Thanksgiving. Just know it's just one day, right? It's one day. It's you're never gonna like put on a ton of weight because of one day, even if it was a crazy day, right? I know that like it can be the mental side in the morning where you wake up and you're like, oh my god, I went nuts yesterday. You're bloated, like you feel like in the mirror you look way different. You gain 5-10 pounds, but it's just unrealistic, right? So just know things are all good. Like, and really that kind of sparked a thought of, like, I guess for me, where it's like goals, right? Changing of goals. I know, like yesterday, I had my day went exactly the way I'd hoped, actually even better, than I'd hoped. I wasn't expecting to be able to spend the whole day with Marissa, and I was able to spend the whole day with Marissa. She didn't get called in to the hospital, so that was amazing. It was even better than I had thought that it was going to be. But my goal for Thanksgiving is generally just to not feel like shit at the end of the day, and so it was success. And we ate pretty good, for that. And we went on a walk. We got a workout in. It's really executed the plan to a T. But that's not always going to happen. Like, there's going to be days where you don't execute the plan, but also there's going to be times where you want to change your goals, right? You might be going at something and you're like, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore. Maybe you figure out that you're going at something for the wrong reasons. Like, you have a friend or a family member that they're going after those goals, or you see these people online and you're like, oh, I got to look like that, or I got to be like that, or all these different things. And a lot of times what I've found when I go at goals that are not like really important to me and that don't have a really big why behind it for me, then I don't succeed. I don't achieve them. I'm just spinning my wheels. And so I think it really is important to have like constant check-ins throughout with yourself on, like, am I really going at the right things? Like, do I feel like strongly about this goal still? Is it still like a really motivating, driving goal, something that's really big behind it? And if not, then it's maybe time to redirect. And maybe it doesn't have to be like a huge 180, but just even these small little shifts. It's like, oh, like, how can I get that big why behind it? Like, what are some different things I can look at? Like, what's really important to me right now? Why is it important to me? Well, how can I like get steam going? How can I get momentum going? Like, there's a lot of different things. And I think there's a fine line to walk here, because sometimes you'll see people just constantly shift from goal to goal to goal to goal to goal, and then they never make any progress in anything. So sometimes, like, there's going to be like a point where you just don't feel maybe motivated for some reason, or you have like a week where you're off, you're not feeling as good. Maybe you're like sick, or you're just weak, or whatever it may be. And like, sometimes it can be like the thought of, oh, maybe I'm not supposed to be going at this goal. But really, giving yourself a little bit of time to continue chasing that same thing and thinking about it, maybe journaling, meditating on it, whatever works for you, whatever you feel like allows you to think and get thoughts out there and get answers for yourself. Go on a walk, right? I don't know. I like to just go on walks, and it hits me like I can think and mull things over. Sometimes I listen to podcasts or music, but then other times I can just like legitimately get answers to maybe questions I'm asking myself. Right. And so that's kind of some things I've been thinking about. Because I mean, if you have watched this and listened to this podcast since we started, it was right around this period of time. I think it might have been November 2022 was our first episode that Nick and myself shot. Right. And obviously it wasn't on video at that point. There's just maybe the first like 30, 40, 50 episodes are just audio. And you can find those on Spotify and Apple. And you're probably, if you go back and listen or watch those, it's a completely different version of me. I know that's out there, very rigid, very strict, very, honestly intense. And I've grown a lot in a lot of different ways since we started the podcast. But just is kind of fun to think about and funny to think about. Not necessarily funny, but it's kind of crazy to think about how much my goals have shifted since then. Right, where there I was like super obsessed with looking a certain way, feeling, so like feeling my best, looking my best, like just being super rigid, and like I didn't have as much balance in my life, and it was a hard period of time for those reasons, right? It's like I thought I was chasing the right things. I thought I had to be a certain way. I was, trying to be a nutrition coach like full time, and I ended up doing that for a year, which was awesome. But that kind of made me realize it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to make my full career, that I wanted to do something else, that I wanted to make that more of like a passion, or like I don't know if a hobby is the right thing, but I like doing it, but I didn't want it to be my only thing, right? I didn't want to be my main thing anymore. And so the goal shifted, and it shifted to, going back to work for somebody else, and finding a great company that I have now down here in Arizona. Also, goals shifted from where, there was a period of time where it was like all my only existence was work and nutrition and working out and eating my morning routine and all these different things. And then I was like, you know what, I need to give myself the ability to find love, right? I'd always watched the movies, and like it was something I've always wanted was to find love, find somebody that I can spend my life with. I've seen many people in my life, like my parents, just have like a great relationship. Other people that I look up to that have an amazing relationship that I admire. Friends and family that it's like, oh yeah, I would love to have somebody to spend the rest of my life with. I think it's something that I deserve, right? And I had finally done enough work on myself towards like, you know what, I'm going to give myself the gift of starting to date. And I'm grateful and fortunate that it didn't take very long before I found Marissa, and now we're getting married very soon. And it's exciting to think just all the different goals I've gone, but like how the different things that come into our life, or different people that come into our life, different like career choices that we make, how it shifts our goals in every area of our life, but it also shifts the way that we look at health and fitness. And it's allowed me to find more of a balance within my life, and not need to like stress about like all the workouts and walks and yoga every week. And I think it's allowed me to continue finding that line of like how much do I need to feel good? How much do I need to be healthy? How can I focus on making sure I do get 3 workouts in a week, making sure that I do like stretch and keep my body feeling good. I'm making sure that I do like, keep 70% of the foods or around that mark coming from quality foods, and making sure that I'm also getting my desserts and my sugar, that everybody knows I have the big sweet tooth. And so it's fun to look at. It's fun to look back at all the different goals that I've chased here over the last few years of doing this podcast, and just how hopefully all of you understand that you don't have to. I know in the past I've found like in different areas, like I felt like it was like for other people that I had to keep chasing a goal, right? When it's like, I just don't really feel like this is the right one. It's like, but sometimes you do it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe a year longer than you should, because you're trying to like not let other people down, instead of just focusing on yourself and focusing on what's best for you and your family, and like what's going to light you up, what's going to make you feel your best. Because generally, here's the thing is like, if you're going at something that you're passionate about, And again, this doesn't have to be just about health and fitness. This is about anything, career wise, relationship wise, life goals, like anything out there that you want to chase. If you're doing it for somebody else, like it's just, you're never going to really achieve it. You're just spinning your wheels. But it can be easy to focus on what other people think and to focus on continuing to chase things that don't mean anything to you, which is just going to make you unfulfilled and make you like resent other people and not be happy in your life, which it's all about being happy. Like that's what I've really realized. And I know I've talked about that plenty of times throughout the last 2 years. It's like chasing like joy, chasing like fulfillment in life. And I feel like I'm in a really good place with all that. And I feel like, I might not be in the best shape that I've ever been. Definitely not. Right. I'm not in the best shape I've ever been. I'm in good shape though. I feel good, but I'm also like happier than I've ever been in my life, that's the most important thing to me, is like finding that balance where I can be healthy. I can eat nutritious foods. I can get movement and workouts in throughout the week. But also I can, have like an amazing relationship and be happy and achieve life goals and like just also like just feel good about the work that I'm doing on a daily basis. Like that's what it's all about. I think it can be easy to get caught up in like workouts and walks and nutrition and yoga and cold plunges and saunas. And although it's really good to have those things, when it becomes obsessive, you can start to lose track of the things that really matter in life, which are the people, the relationships, the things that really mean the most. And what we're going to actually, when you come down and you think about like what you're grateful for, right? When you think about like at the start of the day or the end of the day, what you're grateful for, it's really going to be the people, it's going to be the people in your life. And it's not to say that like those health and fitness goals aren't important. They're really important. And maybe like that's going to help you become the best version of yourself to show up the best, which is important. And that's why I want to always make sure that I am healthy and I am working out and I am pushing myself and I am like in good shape, because like that's so important to feel your best and to live the longest for those people that are really important in your life. But also like understanding that when we like take it too far, it can be a detriment, I think. And so hopefully this has been helpful. This is kind of just me spewing, just throwing random shit out there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and you can take some of it, take the things that make sense to you, or like that if you can even just like just take, if you take one thing, I would say just to make sure you are reevaluating your goals and understanding like the things we go at, we should be going at for a reason and a big why. And if it's not really important to us, then we should think about either shifting it a little bit. Maybe you need to make a big shift. That's going to have to come down to you and looking inward and finding what, getting the answers that you personally need to move in either a different direction altogether or just a little small shift. But hopefully this helped you. This has just been something that's been top of mind a little bit just this morning. Really, I just randomly thought about it this morning and I was like, you know what? Like it is, I started reevaluating. I started just looking back at the last few years and how grateful I am for the journey that I've had over those years, the person that I'm becoming, the joy that I do have in my life currently. And I'm excited to just continue reworking all this stuff and just continuing to figure out like what do I need to do to be the best version of myself, to show up the best for Marissa, for my my parents, my brother, family, friends, everybody in my life that I care so much about. So hope you guys all have an amazing rest of the day. If you do enjoy this and you do think this has been helpful for you, I'll be asked to share it with somebody, friend, family member out there, coworker, maybe somebody who you think that could benefit from this podcast. Also, make sure that if you aren't subscribed yet, just click that subscribe or follow button on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whichever one you like to watch or listen to us on, and all that. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of the week, great rest of the weekend. We'll be talking to you soon.